Kompromat, the silent weapon of power. Imagine you're a powerful official. You have a secret. An affair, a shady business deal, a signature on a document you never should have signed. Nobody knows, except one person. And that person isn't going to expose you. They're simply going to tell you how to vote, who to fire, what to look away from. They're not asking for money. They're asking for obedience. This has a name. Kompromat. Compromising material in Russian. And although today it's used in boardrooms, parliaments, and newsrooms around the world, its modern form was born in one very specific place: Stalin's Soviet Union. Stalin didn't invent blackmail, that's as old as power itself, but he did turn it into a state system, bureaucratic, filed, and repeatable. The NKVD, the Soviet secret police, didn't just hunt down dissidents, it built files on everyone, including the party's own loyalists. Confessions signed under torture, intercepted private letters, testimonies from neighbors and family members forced to inform, all of it was kept. Why keep files on loyal people? Because the goal wasn't only to punish declared enemies, it was to make sure no one ever felt completely safe, not even those at the top. A Red Army marshal, a minister, a factory director, all knew that somewhere in a Lubyanka drawer sat a piece of paper that could destroy them. This was the system's twisted genius. Fear didn't come only from the possibility of arrest. It came from knowing a file existed even if it was never used. The latent threat alone was enough to produce loyalty, silence, and self-censorship. This mechanism outlived Stalin. The KGB inherited and perfected the practice through decades of Cold War, using Kompromat against its own citizens as well as against foreign diplomats, businessmen, and visiting journalists. When the USSR collapsed in 1991, one might think this tool disappeared with the regime that created it. The opposite happened. Thousands of KGB files weren't destroyed. They ended up in private hands. Former agents turned security consultants, political fixers, or simple opportunists. Kompromat stopped being a state monopoly and became a commodity. In 1990s Russia, during the chaos of privatization, Kompromat became a routine weapon between rival oligarchs. Leaked videos, phone recordings, and tax files would strategically surface in the press right before elections or business negotiations. Analysts and journalists who have studied Russia's modern political system describe how this culture became reinstitutionalized under post-Soviet intelligence services, now applied both domestically and in foreign influence operations. Here's the part that should really worry us. Kompromat is no longer exclusively Russian. It's a global technique of power. Here's how it works in any political or corporate system. Silent collection. Someone, a rival, an intelligence service, a private investigation firm, gathers compromising information on an official, judge, journalist, or executive. Irregular finances, private life details, questionable past decisions. Silence as a weapon. It isn't published right away. It's kept. The compromised person knows or senses that the material exists. The implicit instruction. No one ever has to say, vote this way or I'll expose you. A phone call, an insinuation, an intermediary who happens to remember the topic at just the right moment. That's enough. Loyalty bought through fear, not conviction. The official acts not because they believe in the decision, but because they fear the consequences of refusing. This explains why, in democracies and autocracies alike, we see leaders making decisions that seem to contradict their own stated principles, or protecting people and interests they publicly claim to oppose. And here we reach the heart of the problem, beyond the historical anecdote. When a society suspects or knows that many of its leaders are compromised, trapped by debts, secrets, or hidden loyalties, something profound happens. Collective trust erodes. Which party wins? An election stops mattering as much because the real question people start asking is who actually controls the one who controls whom? This paralyzes social change in a very particular way. It's not direct censorship. It's not open repression. It's something subtler. A ruling class that can't afford to act independently. Because every major decision might trigger a threat kept in a drawer, metaphorical or literal, for years. The result is a politics of empty gestures. Announced reforms that never fully get implemented. Investigations that open and mysteriously close. Incorruptible officials who suddenly shift positions without any convincing explanation. The lesson from Soviet history isn't just beware the secret police. It's more uncomfortable than that. Any system in any era that accumulates private information without oversight or transparency will end up turning that information into undemocratic power. You don't need a dictator. An archive and silence are enough. Stalin didn't invent the human fear of exposure, but he understood with icy precision that well-managed fear is more efficient than brute violence. That discovery didn't die with him. It lives on today in more discrete forms within the democracies we think are immune to it. The question we should be asking isn't just who holds power, it's what does that person know about the one who holds power? If you found this topic interesting, subscribe, hit like, and let us know in the comments which other episodes of history you'd like us to cover.